Hello, hello. Welcome to this really powerful training. Today we're going to talk about hot, high-ticket sales trends that you need to know for 2023. What I'm going to be talking about is what is going to work in 2023, the key strategies that you need to be aware of. And this is going to allow you not to waste time, money on strategies that don't work, but also don't wait years till you build a huge audience or spend thousands on ads. So this is really amazing. So what we're going to learn today and what you will come out by the end of the session is what is the most effective high ticket strategy for 2023, but also what no longer works and needs to be left behind. And key mistakes that will cost you a fortune and probably have already resulted in some wasted time and money. And actually, what are the key things to avoid and what to watch out for and what to focus on. So right now you can really plan your 2023 and really make it extremely successful. So this is for you if you're a coach, if you're an expert, if you're a consultant, if you sell any type of digital product or a course or a coaching program, this is going to be extremely relevant for you. So if we haven't met before, why you should listen to me? My name is Elena Dakas, and I'm a high-ticket sales expert. And actually, for the last 20 years or so, I have been buying and selling companies. I have bought and sold over 50 companies worth over 10 billion US dollars. So anything from small company, 1 or 2 employees to very large organizations. And what happens is during this process of buying and selling companies, every time you do a deal, you have to open the leads to hundreds of businesses to see what is actually working on the inside. I can see the champagne parties, the private jets, but actually when we open the leads to the business, what is working and what is not working? Why is it one company with a huge celebrity following has got everything going for it, huge social media presence, brand name, but actually when we open the leads to the books, that things that people normally don't see, we see the founder that's trapped within its business, hating his clients, hating his business model, wants to exit, asking Elena, how can I exit, but can't because they've set up a business model that doesn't work, doesn't allow them to scale, doesn't allow them to exit. And why, on the other hand, there are small companies with very lean structures are able to set up really powerful businesses that gives them huge bottom line, huge income, but also allows time freedom for the founder. And that's what I have been obsessing about. And those are the key elements what successful companies had in common. And what failed businesses missed to implement is what I have put into my signature framework, Powerhouse CEO system, which I have been consulting, advising founders and CEOs how to set up a business in the most effective way to give you those high ticket sales, but also give you a real time freedom. And that's what I'm going to be sharing with you today. So if you know my style, no fluff, to the point, is going to be value packed. So grab your notes, get all the distractions, right? Get out all the distractions. Make sure you make the most use out of this time because there will be no water, no fluff. We're going to get to the point. So why am I doing this? What is my why? Well, if you haven't met, I was actually brought up in communism time in the Soviet Union a long time ago with all sorts of mindset issues. And actually, when I was growing up, I was told when I was something like 10 years old by my teacher that the best thing I can be is a secretary at a local factory. And I'll never forget that day, like a brick almost falling on my head, this limitation that somebody, a figure of authority, have set on me. But fast forward 20 years later, I'm on the board across the largest boardroom tables as the youngest and the only female across those largest boardroom tables. But what happens is, and this is why I do what I do, the saddest thing is I believe the world so desperately needs female leadership. I believe behind every single female-run business, there's a bigger purpose, there is a bigger mission that she's trying to achieve. But sadly, only 12% of women get past the 6-figure revenue mark. And that's what I'm on the mission to change. My mission is to provide and help women create this financial freedom that allows them to create huge impact, reach more people with their service, with their product, but also have this financial independence without sacrifice of their time with their family. And this is why I do what I do. This is why I'm so passionate about supporting female-run businesses. So why high ticket, and why actually high ticket strategy needs to be one of the key strategies for your business for 2023. Why high ticket? Why are we talking about high ticket? Is low ticket easier to sell? What is the idea here? Well, here's the thing. If you think about, and this is what's really especially changing right now, and what we see in a really big trends, is that what happens is information industry, and especially coaching industry, digital product courses, is a really kind of hot industry. So we've seen a huge growth in the industry over the last few years, especially in 2022, seen an increase of 70% of online businesses. So what that means is there's a lot more players in the market. There's a lot higher saturation of the market. This market as an industry is expected to grow to 2.1 trillion in 2023. And actually, the barrier to entry, if you think about it, the barrier to entry for players to enter this place is very low. Like literally, you can have your phone, your Instagram account, your TikTok account, and off you go. You can call yourself a guru without even having any experience. So what we're seeing is there's a lot more saturation, there's a lot more players, and you've probably seen this yourself as well, feeling like maybe your message is getting lost in the crowd of other people. So working with the right clients is becoming incredibly important, more important than ever. Really not wasting any of your time on people that will just drain your energy, will never get results of your program, but frankly are not motivated, are not driven. And focus all your attention. Like if you have one shot, you focus all your attention, all your energy on reaching those perfect buyers. And you'll hear me talk more about this gold mine niche. This is your high ticket buyers. Those are buyers that are more sophisticated. They're more experienced. They haven't just entered the market yesterday, seeing this as a new opportunity. And if it doesn't work, if they don't make $1 million overnight, then they move on to sell on Amazon or do something else. High ticket buyers are more sophisticated. They tried the free stuff and low ticket stuff before. They know it doesn't work. It's a big myth, but they are very serious about their business. Their business is not just a game. This is not just in and out. Let's see if it works out or not. They're very committed to themselves, their transformation, and the results they want to see in their life. And this is what high ticket buyers are. This is what really the investment and this level of seriousness represents. And that's why when they enter your program, well, first of all, they pay a high price, and we know people pay, they pay attention, but also they're very committed to themselves. They've got skin in the game. And what happens is because of that, they get huge results from your program. We've seen with all my clients, those are the type of buyers that get best results. They're the best testimonials. They're the best case studies. But the most beautiful thing of that, the effect of that, is when you're working with those kind of clients, imagine your level of confidence grows. You become so certain in your results. Your reputation speaks for you. You get people just referring to you all the time. This is what we've seen. Half of my clients come through referral system because the program is so good. And that's the power when you work with the right clients. So high ticket clients is the focus for 2023. But, a lot of people understand this. They say, well, yes, absolutely, I want to charge higher prices for my services. But why do people struggle? Why do people struggle to create those consistent sales, attract the right buyers? And what is really causing it? And what's no longer going to work in 2023? So here's what we've seen over and over again. And this is what happens is, this is people, especially for you, is relevant if you are top expert in your field, outstanding expert with lots of years of experience. Especially this is coaches that have years of experience, really spend years honing their craft. They might have corporate experience, but they've really been doing this for a while. They have client testimonials, client transformations. They know the results that they provide to their clients is really good. Their clients tell them all the time, I don't understand why you're not fully booked. And what happens is, this is what I call an invisible expert trap. And this is, if one of the symptoms is resonating, this is going to be really relevant for you. So the way this will play out is, these are the people that actually, they're doing everything right? They've been consistent. They're providing huge amount of value in their content. They post 3 to 4 times a week at least. And 70% minimum of their content is valuable information, really powerful stuff. Then the information itself can absolutely change people's lives. But somehow no one seems to care. No one's asking to buy from them. No one's sending them DMs inquiring about their service. And what happens is, they got some sales in the past, but it was really inconsistent. They got a good high sales month, then there's a drop in about 2 to 3 months, at least in the last 6 to 7 months. So, and then some sales again, and then no sales. So there's a lot of roller coaster ride on the revenue front. And also, they're not able to predict with certainty how much money they're going to generate in their business in the next month or in the next 3 months. They have no reliability. And because they don't have the certainty, they're not able to recruit a team on a stable salary, and also not allows them to make really big life decisions like take out a mortgage. They have a very long commitment, right? Is this making sense? And then one of the things that also is, they look around themselves and they see other people who are like way less qualified than them, making way more money than them. And they're like, I don't understand why this is happening. I don't understand why that's happening. And also, one of the signs of this invisible expert trap is they will have the evergreen funnel, maybe a webinar funnel, maybe they did a speaking engagement or a masterclass or lives on IG or Facebook. And they're doing all of it. That's taking a lot of effort, but it's just not converting. Like, it's not giving the sales they want to see. Maybe 1 or 2, 3, but just really disappointing results. And this is a key signs of this invisible expert trap. And if at least one of the symptoms resonate, 1 or more, this is what you might be finding yourself in. It's really is a key thing that's currently happening right now. But if you're resonating with it, I just want to let you know that it's not your fault. It's absolutely not your fault. One of the reasons that's causing this is really this unhelpful advice that we hear every single day, that actually causes a lot of struggle and a lot of this being stuck for people. And this advice goes like this: well, just position yourself as an expert, right? We heard that before. Or just put yourself out there, provide value, show up, and people will buy. So they're doing that. They're doing it. They're consistent. They added value. They certainly provided more value than possible, but they're not seeing the results. People are not buying. Or there's just raise your price. Just raise your price. Charge your worth is advice we get. And they're trying it, but they're not comfortable. They're not confident. In fact, what most people do in this situation when they find themselves in this invisible expert trap is they find, well, my course isn't selling, my coaching service isn't selling, I'm finding myself in the discovery calls with people that just can't afford my service, and frankly just wasting my time. So they feel really drained by those discovery calls, right? And then their initial thought is, well, okay, let me do the following. Let me lower my prices. Maybe my prices are too high. Okay, if they're not prepared, because they get a lot of price objection, right? They get a lot of price objection. People saying, oh, expensive. Let me think about it. Let me speak to my partner. And because they're getting price objection, they think, okay, fine. And they're lowering their prices down. This is where their thought goes to. Another key sign of that, if the only way you know how to create stability, a certain predictability in your business is Facebook ads. So what I'm seeing is a lot of people that really find yourself in this invisible expert trap are also wasting money on ads, and the ads are not converting and it's not working. It becomes really difficult. So that is what's happening. And it's really this advice. On the advice that we hear that's really causing this trap is, well, just show up, just go live. Just go live every day on Instagram or Facebook and people will buy. Well, you see, the problem with all of this advice is It's an old, outdated advice, right? It does not work anymore, and certainly will not work. It doesn't work already. It hasn't been working already, and certainly will not work in 2023. This advice worked 3 to 5 years ago, where you've seen a lot of kind of big names or gurus or influencers really built a big following, where 3 years ago, it was really easy to build a huge following on Instagram and social media, just providing quotes or something else, or just providing value, which is how people explode, like Boss Babes and other influencers exploded during this period of time. And what this idea of this advice is, well, just provide value and people will buy. It works if you are the only shop in town. So think about it, when there's a way less competition, right? A lot less market saturation. There's only one shop in town. So if you're the only shop in town, if you're the only parenting coach in town, if you're the only sales coach in town, if you're the only relationship expert in town, well, you don't need to be different. You don't need to be differentiated. You don't need to be sophisticated. You can just show up, open your shop, put your product on the shelf and say, hey, this is me, come and buy. And this is what this advice is based on. Just add value, open your shop and people will buy. But in saturated market, of course, it doesn't work because, and we'll talk more about this, is that information is just a commodity now. People consume this content, this information, this value, and they move on. It was a great example. I was playing around with a new camera that I just recently bought, and I was like, oh, I need to work out how to do this, right? So I just Googled how to set this DSLR camera, and I got this amazing blog that gave me really clear, simple instructions of what to do step by step, step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. So I've consumed it, solved my problem, fixed my camera, and moved on. Did I care at any point who's written the blog? Did I pull out my credit card and say, oh, let me buy that course? No. And that's exactly what's happening with your audience when you create that type of content, that type of messaging. People move on, it's a commodity, they've satisfied their need, but there's no desire to buy. So this is what it all based on, this old way, outdated way where we see that's not working anymore. And this idea of hope marketing. And really, this is what you hear a lot of people telling you how to sell high tickets or your service or your offers or your coaching programs. Well, engage with people, be engaged with people, answer lots of comments, send DMs to people, engage with them. Hundreds of some of my clients who entered before they entered our program, they were sending hundreds of DMs a day. They had a team member do that. Commenting in 50 Facebook group, providing value, showing off your expertise, hoping maybe you will get noticed. The idea behind this strategy really is, well, be very helpful, solve people issues, show off your expertise in a hope, right, that one day you'll get noticed. Or wait years till you build a huge audience. This old model has been, and I worked with so many businesses like that, of course, whose whole model was, well, spend 6 to 9 months building an audience, either Facebook group or social media or Instagram. And then after you've built that audience, 9 months in, then you do launch your offer to them and wait till they buy. Well, the problem with that, and this is what we've seen a lot of people do, is first of all, the launches don't work as well because you have no idea to know whether your messaging is going to convert, whether you have the right offers, whether you've attracted even the right people. So what we see, people build this audience, but they're not the audience of buyers, and they're not willing to spend any money. Which is, how many influencers do you know that have huge audience, celebrity status, in millions, but they have nothing to sell. They have no ability to monetize it. They don't have the audience of right buyers. They just like looking at their pictures or how they look or their bikini photos, but they're not the buyers. So they're actually not making any money off their Instagram or Facebook accounts. So that's the problem with this. Or this idea, we'll just dance on reels, find that one viral reel that's just going to explode your business. Yeah, I mean, if you get a viral reel, that's great, but it's like shot in the dark. That's not a strategy. Imagine if Apple or Amazon a serious company was like, well, yeah, and they had a quarterly meeting for the investors, says, yes, our strategy is to get viral reel. It's a nice to have, but it's not a strategy that can pay you a mortgage. So all of these strategies is really focused on this idea that one day they will buy. And this is what this creates, this hustle culture circle of death. And this hustle culture circle of death is really affecting women more than anyone else, disproportionately more than anyone else. Because as you know, with women, they don't have just their business. They sometimes have their corporate careers, they have their family, they have kids to look after, they have their elderly parents, they have other responsibilities that's on their shoulders. So plus you have this way of building a business, it becomes this hustle culture circle of death, which is what we're seeing. And we're seeing this completely happening right now. So what's happening in the hustle culture, the circle of death, is, let's say you're in point A and you want to get to point B. That's your dream destination. That's maybe amount of income you want to make. Maybe you're looking for those 10K months, 50K months, 100K months, doesn't matter. That's your goal. That is what you want to achieve. And what happens with all those activities, you're doing all those activities, dots, you sending emails to your list every week, you're consistent, you're posting, you're going live, you are having speaking engagements, you're doing lots of stuff, but all of it's scattered. It's all over the place. And the problem with that is it's not getting you to your destination. It's not giving you the results on all this effort, which is why women are saying, well, I haven't reached my goal, so the income is low. I don't feel like I have any more time to give, and feeling very dissatisfied with the results of their work. But also majority of their time they spend in the hustle activity, not in their zone of genius. What they want to do is actually help clients, work with clients, deliver their programs, not send messages to random people and be on discovery calls that drain their life out of them, or send DMs. So that is an issue with the hustle culture. And it is like, it's like a, hamster in a wheel, constantly spinning wheels, but not going anywhere. Where if you have a system, right? If you have a system and you have a machine in your business, what happens is, and this is the key thing that works in 2023, and right now, is if you in point A where you are right now and you have a dream destination you want to get to, you want to have consistent sales, you want to have consistent clients. If you have a system that all you need to do is take step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5. Very clear, very consistent, very pointed, very intentional. So eliminating all this noise, this scattered approach, this hustle, and this is how people get high income. They reach their goal much quicker. They also have more time, but they also have high satisfaction because they see results in their efforts and they spend more of their time in the zone of genius. And really the cause, the fundamental cause, if you think about it, and let me know if this makes sense, the fundamental cause of this is this employee mindset. What employee mindset is when you're in a job, and if you've been in a corporate job or you had a experience somewhere, how do you get a promotion when you're an employee? The only way you can get a promotion as an employee is you have to outwork everyone else. You have to outwork everyone else. You have to work the hardest. You have to be the most committed. You have to be the hardest worker, and you get noticed and promoted. But what happens is people bring this hustle mentality, employee culture, when they start and run their own business. When you're a CEO, that no longer works, because CEO, you need to be most effective. You need to do less actions, less activity, and higher impact results, which is a CEO mindset. Because think about it. If your only competitive advantage in your business is just hustle and outwork, that's what's going to happen. People can just outwork you if they just have extra, just recruit more people. But the biggest problem with this employee mindset, which is what's happening in hustle culture, this is how women give up on their dreams. They give up on their dreams because they work harder than ever. They're doing all those work. But what happens is, well, this is what I'm hearing from people coming into my world every day. Elena, I feel like I'm working more and seeing my family less, even when I had 9-to-5 job. At least I could leave the office and I'm just there with the kids. Now it's never ending. Oh, I'm doing all those things. This is the biggest frustration. The biggest frustration, what's really is so frustrating, is they feel like I'm doing all those things. I'm being consistent. I'm following the advice. I'm doing the stuff they're telling me to do, but I'm not seeing the changes in my bank account. Oh, I'm tired of talking to people that can't afford my service. Anyone else? Oh, I'm posting every day. I'm adding value, but I'm not seeing this consistency. It's a roller coaster ride. I'm not seeing the consistent sales. Oh, I don't know where my next client is coming from. So there's a fear of saying, what if I don't have any more clients this month? What if I'm going to run out? What if my audience gets, this is it. What if it dries out and there's no one tomorrow? But the biggest thing is my business is just not reliable. It's an emotional roller coaster. 1 week high, 1 week low, which is what's causing this and real uncertainty, which is why women have to pack up and quick. And this is why you see this online all the time. Some big names, big following, one day they disappeared, gone. Disappeared. The reason for that is this burnout, this scattered approach. And this is another year has passed. End of the year and the results, I'm not where I want to be in my life or my business. That is what's happening. So I know you're thinking, well, how do we get out of it? How do we stop it? What's a new way of doing this? What's a different way of approaching this? Focused, strategic, intentional. So this is what I'm going to share with you today, is this reliable, consistent, high-ticket sales system. And this is really the foundation of this 20-year experience of me opening leads to hundreds of businesses and putting all those key elements together in a systematic way. So you can just do one, step 2, step 3, step 4, and you can ignore the rest. You can ignore the rest. You do things that really moves the needle. So the key thing, and this is one of the keys I really want you to understand, this is one of the most important strategies and the more kind of idea is that your business needs to be a system. Fundamentally, it needs to be in the machine. It needs to be a machine. And the way the machine works is you have inputs in and you have outputs out, like a bread factory. If I want to make 100 loaves of bread or 20 loaves of bread, in this example, I'm putting 100 ingredients in. I'm putting flour, I'm putting milk, I'm putting eggs, and I'm getting 20 loaves out. I can predictably guarantee how many clients or loaves of bread I'm going to get out of the system. If I want to change, I need to put more ingredients in, or I need to make a machine more efficient. Instead of 20 loaves of bread, I can make 30. That is the idea. It's like any factory, any business has to be created and turned into this machine. And that's the machine. When you have it like this set up in your business, this is where you can go on holiday and not worry. You can focus, you can recruit, because you know exactly how many clients you're going to have, how much money your business is going to generate by the activities, by a machine, when you turn on the machine. By the turn on machine, and this machine becomes your one highly converting, authentic presentation. And that's what I'm going to be sharing with you today. Because remember, you see, money is in your message. If there's anything, if you forget everything that I'm sharing with you today, I want you to really remember this and say it after me. Money is in your message. Money is in your message. Money is where? In your message. Message is the most important part of your business. It's like this meat on the bones. This is why people are going to buy. This is why people are going to buy from you and no one else. This is why people are going to want your offers. This is why people are going to recommend you to everyone else. This is how you become a brand. Money is in your message. People always come to me and they say, Elena, should I be on TikTok? Should I be on Pinterest? Should I be on YouTube? And I always say, if you don't have a good message, it's like you're worrying about the serving plate when you don't have anything to put on that serving plate. When you have nailed your message, you have this beautiful meat, this succulent meat, it doesn't matter which serving plate you put in. You can slice and dice it and present it in different ways, on different platforms, but the message is the thing that gets people to buy. And this is actually how people buy. So if you think about it for yourself, how you bought anything that was value, you heard someone speak, you heard their presentation, right? Maybe you were part of their launch, maybe it was launch videos, maybe it was a webinar, maybe you saw them speak on stage, maybe you heard them on a podcast. But you have to hear people speak live. This is how we buy. People have this misconception, and they think, well, it's just Reels, or it's YouTube Shorts, or TikTok. When was the last time you saw a TikTok video and you were like, oh, love it, here's my card, I'm buying? It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work like that. TikToks and all of the reels are great to attract people into your world, but you need to attract the right people. No point attracting wrong type of crowd. I say it over and over again. People just lose their shots. Like, what's the point wasting time on people that will never, ever buy from you? And frankly, you can't help them either. You're not going to create the impact you desire in your life and business by talking to the wrong people. So remember, money is in your best way to package your message is the presentation. Your presentations becomes messaging powerhouse. And then everything in your business comes from it. Your pieces of content, your emails, your podcast, everything comes from your presentation. It's like, you know, when you see Amazon or Apple, like they're always on message, right? You know, Amazon, they're about fast service, quick delivery. They're not about luxury goods or anything else. They're always on message. And the reason why they're able to be always on message, their emails are on message, their podcast is on message, all their piece of content is on message, is because they've done their messaging work. And for you, that becomes your presentation, this one messaging powerhouse that everything else is based on. And also, I love this story so much. And just to finish that, the idea is actually how it translates. If you ever right now don't know what to post on social media, if you don't know what to talk about in your lives, I actually believe this is a great one. I believe people don't have a fear of public speaking. You know, people say, oh, I'm uncomfortable doing lives or Instagram live or Facebook lives. The reason why people are uncomfortable is not because they're afraid of public speaking. They don't know what to say. That's the reason why they don't go live. They don't have their messaging nailed down. When your messaging nailed down, you know what? I can wake you up at 2 o'clock in the morning and you'll be ready to present and go live. This is one thing that all my clients always say is their level of confidence. You always know what to say because you are always a message and your message is nailed. So everything becomes easy. You can go on stories, on podcasts, speaking engagement at any point and do that, which is why my clients are able to present on a summit or go somewhere speak with a short notice because they've done this work and they know it works. And I love this story, actually. I mean, this is just fantastic story. It's Paul McCartney. It was a story by Paul McCartney. They were sitting with John Lennon and they just bought this house and the house didn't have a pool. And it was like super hot day in Beverly Hills. I'm like, oh, I wish we had a pool. And then Paul McCartney said to John, he said, I know what we need to do. Let's go and write ourselves a swimming pool. And they were like, what do you mean write ourselves a swimming pool? Let's go and write ourselves a song. One song we write once that will allow us to buy us a swimming pool. And actually, if you think about it, that's what they did, right? They write a song once, they record it, and then it plays for generations. And this is how they make their money. So when I heard this story, I was like, oh my word, that's so true. So for us, for information type business, for coaches, experts, consultants, what is your version of a song that you can just write once and play it over and over and over again to create money on demand? That becomes your presentation. That becomes your money-making presentation. The thing that you can run over and over again, use it over and over again, and it gives you clients. 20% of audience raise their hand and say, I want this now, not in a year's time, not in 6, 9, 12 months, but right now. Does this make sense? Because remember, people buy when they hear you speak. They have to hear you speak. If you don't speak, you don't exist, period, especially in the online world. So really, all you need to create this stability, to create those consistent high-ticket sales is one powerful presentation. And then eyes on that presentation is exposure system, which I will talk to you about. And really, once you have this presentation, your messaging is done. You know exactly what to say to convert, how to create this internal drive and design people to be like, yeah, what we get with all my clients, they start presenting, they start implementing this. Like we create this, of course, with them. And one of the key things we always look at is they get these messages when they present. They say, shut up and take my money now. Shut up and take my money now in Instagram live. I get it. I want it. How do I buy it? I don't need to hear anymore. I'm ready to buy. That's the power of real powerful communication. And you can use this on Instagram Live, Facebook Lives, on your webinars, on your launch presentations, on the challenges. There's just a different way of presenting the same thing, or video series, or, well, so I'll talk to you now, is really powerful way to bring a lot of exposure into your business, no matter which stage of the business you're at, or growth or you're at, is through virtual stages. Things like podcasts, summits, group talks, networking, discovery calls. So it becomes the core messaging powerhouse. You do this work once and it lasts you for years. This is how you create multiple 6 figures and 7 figures. For some people, some of my clients, that's the thing that takes them across the finish line. They've been stagnating at 100K, figure, 6 figure, and they really want to go into 7 figure. And that is their ticket. That is their ticket done properly. So using other people, and I'll share with you a really powerful strategy how you can use other people's platforms. So I love this example. I'm sure there's lots of faces is if you think about, Mel Robbins is a great example. She written a book, of course, High Five book, which is, one of her few #1 bestsellers, New York Times bestsellers. But during the launch period of time, remember, Mel Robbins has over 5 million followers of her organic audience. She's a really big, one of the best paid public speakers, has huge organic audience online. But during the launch of her book, you could not escape her. She was everywhere. She was on every single podcast, even small podcasts with just 10,000 downloads. She was on them. Every single podcast, she was doing IG Live. She was doing every single thing possible to talk about her message, powerful presentation to lead people to the book, which is how she was able to achieve a #1 bestseller before or at the week that the book has launched. Rachel Holway, right? The same thing in 2007, #1 bestseller list. #1 bestseller list, the same strategy, has a huge following already, successful podcast at the time. When she was launching a book, you could not escape her. She was literally doing lives with everyone, podcasts, small influencers, anyone who has collected her ideal clients. And she was talking about her message, driving them to the book. #1 bestseller in 2007. Do you think it was the best book that was written in 2007? I bet there was a Harvard MBA, a PhD from Columbia that was written a better quality book. But it wasn't a #1 bestseller because it didn't follow the strategy. And you will see, now you know this, you cannot unsee it. Everyone does it. This is a super powerful way to bring more eyes into your business. Because remember, they have already collected, the virtual stage, they have collected your ideal clients. They have done the work of bringing your ideal clients together, right? And sales is about attention, and then using and converting, using this attention powerfully. And you can do the same thing. You don't have to be a celebrity to use this strategy of bringing spotlights to your business and to your message using other people's virtual stages. All my clients do it, and really, really powerfully. And this is a good example of that. Scale Secret Summit. This is an event that we run, one of the largest in the coaching industry. We had people like Alex Hermosi, Stu McLaren, everyone, Lisa Johnson, Nick Pitt, everyone, anyone who is in the coaching industry was in the event, 6-figure event. One of my clients, Catherine, did one talk in the online summit that brought her 7 high-ticket clients. So do the math in your head, how much you're going to charge for your high-ticket clients, and 7 after one 45-minute presentation. One of my other clients, Eleanor, 10 high-ticket clients after one podcast interview. One podcast interview, 10 high-ticket clients. She was going on podcast before, and if you might have already done that already. You might already spoke at summits, spoken podcasts, and you'd be like, well, I did that, but it didn't lead to any clients. I see this happening all the time. People get claps and be like, oh, that's really valuable information. It's really nice. Claps, but no clients. No one wants to buy because the message is not nailed. The message doesn't create demand. So don't even bother wasting time on that. Because the problem is people go on those events, they speak on stages, but they don't know how to convert powerfully from a place of authenticity, from a place of service. So therefore they waste their time, but they have their hopes up. So the problem with that, they have their hopes up. They say, oh, I'm going to have a lot of business out of this event. And then, of course, it leads to nothing, gives them a cycle, feeling even worse about themselves and their ability and their program. But it has nothing to do with that. They just don't have the skills how to create this subconscious communication, how to create desire and demand for the stuff they're selling. But literally one 45-minute presentation and 10 high-ticket clients. Just do the math in your head. Like for her, that's it. She closed the doors to her program for at least couple of months, and she was absolutely happy with that. And then she just started speaking. Right now, she speaks every 2 weeks and completely sells out her program. That's the power of this. And really, what I love about this so much is that you dictate how much money you want to make. Some of my clients, they speak every single week. Every single week they do a speaking engagement. They know every time they speak, they get lots of clients. They have big ambitions, big goals, 7-figure income. That's what they want to do. That's what they do. And they know they need to do that to drive people through the process. Some people are happy once a quarter. So that's what I love. You become in charge. You become in the driving seat of your car in your business, and you dictate how much money you want to make in your business. That's the power. You're not just hoping one day they will buy. And you say, well, how do I go about booking the stages? How do I go booking our stages? It's extremely simple. So I, of course, have a really successful podcast myself, our summit. So we're always looking for speakers. Everyone always looks for really powerful speakers with great message. Once you have a message, you're going to be attractive. You know what to say, how to pitch. And people are always looking for them. And literally, you just go on Eventbrite, on LinkedIn, or even on Google today. Go and Google right now summits or events that are happening, but really importantly, where your people hang out. So if you're a health coach, look for people, events related to health. If you're a business coach, you want to have entrepreneurs. If you're real estate, you want to focus on real estate. Google it right now. Attend the event. Networking events are amazing. Attend it, be in the audience, see what the people are, right people, what's the vibe, and then you're going to know who the host, and then pitch the host with your message, where your message is done. And you literally just need to pitch 5 people like that a week, and that's it. And then you get quick exposure. This is what's called leverage. Instead of working your way up, posting and hoping, here's 1 follower, here's a 2, here's 3, you get in front of an audience right away of 100 people hearing your message, boom, 20 clients, off you go, and you're sorted. No more hamster wheel, smart, leverage, intentional strategy. If you're struggling, if you don't know the events, especially if you're on my email list, send me a reply, send me a DM. I will send you a list of events, of really powerful podcasts, 50 podcasts that you can go and pitch, that we always provide to our clients. But because you're here live, I will provide this list to you. So this is the kind of results you get once you nail the system. People asking to buy from you after every time you speak. This is one of my clients said, great news. She said, great news. 18 people emailed me after a webinar, all saying pretty much the same thing, asking, how can I work with you? What have you got going on that you sell? She was not even pitching anything, no sales within the masterclass, completely pitch free. Mind blowing. She couldn't convert a single thing. Prior to that, working and implementing the system, she was literally making 1 or 2 sales if she was lucky. 18 people. How would you like to have 18 people in your inbox asking to buy from you? Like, just do the math right now. I think, what can this mean to you, your family, your business? What kind of things would you be able to do? Where would you be able to quit your job? Would you be able to recruit people? Would you be able to get some help with your kids or your family or your business? This is the kind of results you get. And this is another client, Elena, 28% conversion rate. So that means 100 people in the webinar, 28 people converted from masterclass. It's amazing. The energy was on fire, signed 7 clients. It was so easy. I'm so happy. Already a 50K month already. So imagine 28% conversion, 7 clients after one 45-minute talk. Just think about how much energy you spend on doing things, on spinning the wheels, doing lots of activities, but not seeing the results. And how much focus can you be by really shooting in the right goal and hitting that target, and be free for the rest of the week, for the rest of the month, however much money you need to make or want to make. And my team said it was the best presentation I have ever done. That was the biggest thing, that she hated presenting before. She hated presenting before, didn't believe that she was a good public speaker, didn't believe she could do this. She was introvert, she's an introvert. She did this presentation live, and the team said it was the best presentation you've ever done. And she loved the process. It was so much fun. Oh, here's another example. I feel like for the first time in my business, I'm feeling and acting like a true CEO. The confidence is through the roof. Just think about what kind of confidence you're going to get by seeing that kind of results in your business. So really, if you think about it, what I want you to understand, and this is where people really miss the mark, I don't get this. If I can just show you one thing, how close you actually are to your desired destination. If you could only see how close you are to your desired destination, honestly, you would move so much faster. You'd be jumping at your goals. You'll be jumping, going after it. But people think they're so far away from their destination, from their goals, that they take it slow. When if I can show you how you're literally one presentation away from your next level. If you're already 6 figures, that will be your 7 figures. If you're just 5 figures, this will be your 6 figures, or whatever that is in your business. You're literally one presentation away. That's the power of this. It's just, this is why I'm so passionate about it, because I know with all my work, with seeing so many businesses, my big question was, how can I give women the tool, the most effective tool that's not going to sacrifice their time, that's going to be super pointed, super intentional, and give them the results they need, take them beyond those 6 figures, make sure they don't fail, make sure they don't quit. And this is what it came down to. And imagine for yourself, write it in your journal right now, write it in your journal, like really take action. Imagine what this presentation can do for you, your life, your family, and your business. What is going to be possible for you? What kind of things would you treat your kids with too? That's the power of this. So imagine signing 10 high-ticket clients after one 45-minute presentation, where 20% of your audience is what the average we've seen. Sometimes it's more than that, or asking to work with you. But the most important thing is that you're going to be attracting people that are right for you, the serious buyers, but also the ones that are aligned with your values. That is important. I'm a big believer that you should be rejecting and not working with the wrong kind of clients. And we'll talk more about this, of the key mistakes people make. But the key is attracting people based on your values and building really authentic connections based on integrity and honesty to really do a sustained long-term business that's going to last years. And creating those consistent high-ticket sales every single month. So there's a stability, levels of comfort in your life. So you're able to make those big life decisions, buying a house, taking out the mortgage, or recruiting a team to support you in your business. And that's what CEOs, or powerhouse CEOs, really focused on. They care about building a machine in their business that's going to give them results every single month, giving them results. And people asking to buy from them, work with them without even knowing the detail of their program, sending them DMs and say, right, I heard your message. What have you got going on? How can we work together? And this is how people get their clients list booked, fully booked. And this is what's really causing it. But most people just see the top of the iceberg. They see the top 10%, the 80% underneath it. This is the messaging ecosystem. This is the powerhouse that creates this internal demand, subconscious communication. And this is why it gets to be easy. People always think, well, I see these people, they hardly ever work, right? You know what I mean? They hardly ever work. They're always on holiday, but they make so much money. This is how it's done. This is how it's done. It gets to be super easy and energized because you only need to take 5 steps forward and you reach your destination. Rather take 500 and still circling around your point A in a hamster wheel. That's the power. This is how it gets to be fun and free. But here's the key mistakes that people make. We've talked about a couple of them, is that what people do in their launches or their presentations, especially if you have a webinar that doesn't work, I'm willing to bet you're making some of those key mistakes. Or if you're speaking engagement, some amazing speakers do this. People believe that the best way to add value is shower people with information. Really overwhelm them with information, give them everything they know, take the best bits of their course and shower with them. But of course, what causes them, your audience, is to be extremely overwhelmed. They're confused. They can't make a decision. And you frankly just exploded their to-do list. So they've made a lot of like to-do, I need to do this, this, this. And they're overwhelmed than before. But you also gave them a really disservice because you made an impression that they've got everything they need to be successful. And you and me know it takes a lot more than what people can really get from a 45-minute or an hour presentation, right? But you just gave them impression when people shower them with information that they've got everything they need. And this is why it's actually a big disservice, because people walk away with this, oh, I know what to do now. But actually they fail again, they don't get their results, they don't achieve what they need to achieve, and they feel extremely dissatisfied. And this is why, because information doesn't sell. If you look at the best TED Talks, Simon Sinek, one of the best speakers in the world, Brené Brown, they never share tutorials. Think about it. Best TED Talks, best speakers, they never share tutorials how to information. They never shower us with information, which is why Encyclopedia is never on a bestseller list, because information does not sell. Information doesn't sell. It does not create demand and desire. And that's what people do, of course, all the time. The way they do their webinars, their masterclasses, their presentations, their emails, they do teach, awkward silence. The energy drops in their mind. They're like, oh, I need to pitch now. And then they pitch. Pitching at the end of your presentation is the worst thing to do. The energy drops. The people are like, oh my word, I don't know what happened. Why is this a sales presentation now? And this is why it just becomes a horrible experience for you and the audience. And this is another thing, that people make this mistake. They talk and attract the wrong kind of clients. This is for you if you get a lot of price objections. If you get it on the calls, what I call with penny pinches, and they start negotiating, they start focusing rather on value and the results that they can achieve, and trusting themselves that they're going to do the work and achieve those results, they start focusing on the money, because fundamentally they don't trust themselves to do the work. They're the kind of people that will skip from course to course, from coach to coach, looking for the new shiny thing without finishing H1. Those are the worst kind of clients, or the lazy ones, right? The one that actually just think they invest and they don't do any work and they should get some magical results. It doesn't work like that. But most people are taught to talk to this kind of people, talk to their pain points and all that stuff. All it does is you attract the moaners and people that are never going to be successful at anything, and they're certainly not going to be successful in your program. What we focus on is helping you talk to this gold mine niche, those people that are high ticket buyers, the action takers. They're already in action, they're trying, they're moving, they're doing stuff, they trust themselves to get the results, because they know once you show them what to do, they're going to do the work. Those are your best clients, your best testimonials, your best case studies, and they're the key of your referral system. People like this, the lazy and the penny pinchers, will cost you money. People make a really wrong mistake to attract them, to sell to them. And then what happens is this will cost them in the long term more money than it's worth, because their level of confidence goes up. They start doubting themselves. They say, maybe it's my program not good enough. People not getting results. No, it's not that. It's you attracted the wrong people. Your marketing, your sales messaging does not work. So stop doing it. Don't run those webinars if you're not getting results, or you're getting people that are wrong for your program in it. It doesn't work. and not creating the connection to your audience. And this is a big one, selling the solutions and benefits before connecting to your audience. And I get it, because we hear this advice, and advice goes like this: just sell the benefits of your offer and people will buy. Well, the problem with that, it's like you go to the doctor. It was the example, of course, I gave about the Lyme disease, is I went to my doctor, my private doctor, and he went on and on and on about this Lyme disease treatment, this magical Lyme disease treatment that's so amazing. And he said, it's just going to give you such great health benefits. You'll have so much more energy. You'll sleep better. You'll lose weight. It's just such a great treatment for Lyme disease. But I'm sitting there thinking, well, that's great, doctor, but I don't have Lyme disease. It's not relevant to me. And that's exactly what you people are thinking when you do this before connecting to your audience, before attracting the right people in the first place. Really terrible mistake. Don't do it. Also, not having a unique position in authentic messaging. A lot of people complain all the time. I feel like my message gets lost in the crowd of other people. But the reason why it's happening, the way people do this, is they look at what everyone else is doing. They see the top 10% of the iceberg. They copy them. And then they wonder, why is that message gets lost in a crowd of other people? Because there's no uniqueness, no authentic positioning, which is why actually inside Powerhouse SEO program, I personally work with each client to create this uniqueness, this authentic positioning. So your message doesn't look like anyone else's, which is why this program is so unique. Is there's no cookie cutter approach. The problem with the cookie cutter approach for webinars, right, is that you're going to sound like everyone else. You're going to be exactly like everyone else. And when it's saturated, everyone's doing the same thing, it doesn't work anymore. It's like this headline now, lose 10 kilos in 30 days or in 10 days. It just doesn't work anymore because it's so overused. So when there's no uniqueness, it does not work. So really 2023 is all about your unique positioning. Working with someone that can craft this unique, powerful individually with you. That's the beauty. That's why I love Powerhouse SEO program so much. And that's why people get such an amazing result, is because you have my eyes on every single thing you say. And once we do that, then you're flying. And also not having one clear, specific message aligned to your offer, right? People love sharing stories, vulnerable stories about their unique experiences. But the only reason you need to be sharing anything unless it's connected to your offer. Do not share anything that's not connected to your offer. And I get this because, again, we hear this advice that says share vulnerable stories to build a connection with your audience. Yes, but it needs to be the story that's directly relevant to your offer. Like if you had some accident or some mishap, but it has no relevance to what you're selling and what you're doing right now, it just leaves people confused. People thinking in their mind to say, what relevance does this have to what she's selling? Not clear, confusion, confused buyers do not buy. And this is how people get claps, nice comments, likes, so this is nice, thank yous, but no clients. But the biggest thing of that is people miss thousands on the table. What we're seeing is because people are making those mistakes, not implementing this, they lose at least 200% of lost revenue. And how we know that is because people 2x's their revenue from before. So by not implementing, you lose 200% of lost revenue. That's the power of this. So how do you move from being this invisible expert trap, avoiding this trap, and really become this powerhouse SEO? How does it work? What is the process? What is the steps? It really is 4 key things. First, your unique positioning, your radical clarity. Why you, why your method, why your signature system? If you don't have a signature system, we need to create it. We actually help all my clients to create signature system. If they don't have it, we have to start there. And then you have your highly converting asset and a presentation, your authentic sales source that takes people from strangers to buyers to get 20% of your audience to raise their hand and say, yes, I want this now. That's the 7-figure presentation, 7-figure asset presentation. And once you have this, then we can put exposure to this presentation, your message, through other people's virtual stages. For some people, it's ads, and there's so many different ways how you can drive traffic to this when you're ready. And of course, irresistible offer, because remember, people do not buy bad offers. Even when they love you, even when they think you're amazing, people do not buy bad offers. And the key thing is all those three pillars have to work together. Because the thing is, you can't have powerful, authentic presentation without having radical clarity. Or you don't have radical clarity, you just have this presentation, this webinar, but it looks like everyone else, so no one's buying. Or if no one knows about you and you have no ways to put eyes on your business, or in your message, it will also not work. Which is why if you've tried other systems before or other programs and you didn't get results, I'm willing to bet that one of these pillars was missing. One of those pillars was missing. There was no unique positioning. There was no conversion process, this powerful way to move people from strangers to buyers, and no exposure system. So this is the kind of results that you get. People asking to buy from you, 30 key months, and really creating this consistent sales in your business. So I've got to run. I'm teaching my group coaching program in half an hour. But if you feel like, oh my word, I need this now, I'm ready to see if this will be a good fit for me, or the Powerhouse CEO program is a good fit for you, then what you need to do is send me a DM on Instagram at Bossy Hills Club with the word CEO, or reply to my email. If you know my email is, just reply at contact@Bossy Hills, just say interested or the word CEO, and we will send you an application form. It's just a very simple application form, just a few questions to ask you, a few questions to see if you're the right fit, to make sure that this is going to be a match. And then if you are, I will invite you to call with me. It's going to be a high ticket sales roadmap call where we're going to look at your business, the stage of your business at, what you're trying to achieve, and we're going to map out exactly how the roadmap will work for you and how this program will work for you. So as a minimum, you're going to come out of that session with a real clarity of exactly the steps you need to take to create a high ticket sales in your business. And if you're the right fit even further, I will invite you into the Powerhouse CEO program and I will share all the details with you. So send me a reply right now on my email at contact@Bossy Hills, or send me a DM on Bossy Hills Club. Or if you're watching this on a recording, there will be a link on the page where you can download the application form right away to apply, answer a few questions to see if this is the right fit or not, to see if this is going to be a good idea for you. And we will be in touch. So who is this not for? Really importantly, this is not if you don't have a business. This is not for you if you have a product-based business, so you want to sell into retail channels. This is not for you if you're trying and dabbling, if you're not serious about your business. If you're not serious, and if you don't feel like this is really driven from a place of a mission and impact and service, and you want to do good into the world, and you're not sharing those values of, I want to help people and really support people with my work, this is not for you. One of the key criteria for entrance is we're looking for people that have this mission and have this drive to create this business. They're real experts and want to really help people. And also people that don't understand that in order to grow, you need to invest in yourself, in your skills, in your mindset, in your abilities. And you need to take action. You need to do something you have never done before to see the results that you have never achieved before, right? You know, you can't do something. It's like you have to swim towards your destination, right? You have to swim you have to want to make something. You have to take a different action. You know, I'll never forget this story. I remember hearing this interview about this helicopter pilots, and there was a rescue helicopter pilot, and they fly their helicopters, and they only have like 50 seats on inside the helicopter. And sometimes in this specific example, there was a shipwreck, there was a sinking ship that had over 1,000 people on board, and the helicopter pilot is flying around and needs to save 50 people from those thousands. And they were doing this interview, and they said, how do you pick the 50 that you're going to save? How do you know who to save out of the people swimming and sinking in the water? And I'll never forget what the pilot said. The pilot goes, we only save people that swim towards us. And it was such a great analogy, and I'll never forget it. Like, you have to be swimming, making action towards your goal in order to get saved, to get results. So this is really that kind of people we're looking for. And you need to be also coachable. Like, you need to be open to new ideas, doing things in different ways. And also, if you want to become a millionaire overnight and do no work and do no implementation, this program is not for you. This is for people who are serious, who love their clients, who love their work, and I cannot wait to support you and really show you what's possible, really show you what's possible, how close you are to your goals. So I cannot wait to hear from you, to support you, and to see whether this will be a right fit. Absolutely no pressure, no obligation. Fill in the application form. Let's see, let's jump on a call, and this is a good fit, and let's map out this high ticket sales roadmap. If nothing else, I'll give you some recommendations of good coaches or good books or good podcasts that you can follow through, and you will come out with a real clarity around how exactly will this work for your specific circumstance. Because where people struggle the most, right, is they know what to do, they know the strategy, but the biggest gap is from knowing and actually implementing. This is why people struggle. People might understand it, but actually doing it and seeing results and customizing it for them is really, really hard. So I really want to close this gap for you so you can start implementing, seeing the income that you frankly deserve. And you're ready for it. Like, I know you're ready, and it is yours, and it will be available and become yours sooner than you think. So let me know if you have any question. You can always reach out to me on email or send me a DM on the Instagram. And I speak to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.